Hello, so today is the day where we are going to put all of our learning all into one big class. So I will absolutely guide you through. Most of this will be really familiar by now. Let's get started straight away. We're going to lie down on our backs. So if you can lay down in your Pilates rest position. So that is your feet walked in towards your bottom a little bit. Feet hip width apart and knees hip width apart. Fingertips onto your hip bones and begin with your pelvic tilt. So imprinting the low back into the mat and then arching the low back away from the mat. So this is revisiting that lumbo-pelvic relationship as the lumbar curves or rounds, the pelvis rolls forwards and backwards. Now we don't need to press through the feet too much here. See if you can go a light touch on the feet. And see if you can inhale as the back arches away from the mat. Exhale as you imprint the spine into the mat. Inhale as the back arches. Exhale to imprint. That's it. Inhale as you arch and curve. Exhale as you round and imprint. Start to notice that beeline drawing in on the exhale. Inhale, release. Exhale, imprint, beeline draws in. Inhale, release. Exhale, imprint, beeline. Inhale and release. And 3 more. And again. And find your neutral, please. So that's where your back is relaxed. Yeah, so we're lying down nice and comfortably, not really arching, not really curving, in your natural shape. Take the hands and we're going to place them on the ribs, ready for a little bit of our lateral breathing technique. So let's expel all of the air from the body. And when you're ready, expand the rib cage to push the hands away. Exhale, get rid of all of the breath. Inhale into the ribs. Exhale. Inhale, expand the ribs. Exhale. Good, now let's do that with the core active. So neutral spine. See if you can just gently draw your pelvic floor up a little bit and draw your beeline in a little bit. Okay, so we've got this activity. Still got hands on the ribs here, but we've got the core centering on. You don't have to imprint your spine here, we're keeping neutral spine. Again, light touch through your feet, pelvic floor, beeline. Get rid of all of the breath from your body. And then inhale into the rib cage. Good. So you're keeping that core centering on and doing that lateral breathing, that rib cage breathing. If you feel like your chest is lifting up and down, just remind yourself to set your shoulders down low. And 2 more full breaths. Awesome work. Bringing the hands down beside the body now, we're going to take our bridge. So we are going to imprint the low back, feel the pelvis roll towards you, squeeze your bottom, engaging those sit bones to draw towards each other, and then gently pressing down through the feet to start to peel the spine away from the mat. Opening out the angle at the front of your hips at the top of the movement, and then gently laying the spine back down toward the mat. We're going to inhale here at rest. Exhale, imprint, squeeze glutes, press through the hips. Inhale at the top of the movement. Exhale as you transition down to the mat again. Inhale at rest. Exhale, lifting, peeling the spine away from the mat. Inhale at the top. Exhale as you descend down from your bridge. Inhaling at the base. Exhaling as you move. Good. So starting to scoop your hips, squeeze your glutes. Nice. Inhale at the base. Exhale on the movement. Articulating that spine. Opening the front of the hips. Let's go 3 more, please. So this is an awesome movement. You've got the glute strength. You've got the breathing coordination. You've also got that lumbopelvic tip and tilt at the bottom. Wonderful. Now let's bridge up and we're going to hold this last one. So bridging up there. Check that your knees haven't splayed outwards or knocked inwards. Try and keep knees in line with hips. Again, opening the angle at the front of the hips and squeezing the glutes to scoop your tailbone away from you. Soften your ribs a little bit. That's it. And then can you lift up to your tiptoes and heels down. And tiptoes, heels down. And toes and heels. And toes and heels. And toes. Watch the knees. Keep them in line. And toes and heels. And toes. And heels, toes, and heels. Last time, up to the toes, down to the heels, and gently lay the spine back down. Lovely. So from here, we're going to come up halfway. So imprint your lower back again, squeeze your glutes again, and just bridge about halfway up. Don't worry if it's not completely accurately halfway. And then re-engage, squeezing through the glutes, drawing in through the B-line to help you lift. Come down about halfway. Again, don't worry if it's not perfect. And then gently releasing the spine and the pelvis back to the mat. So we're doing a bridge with a halfway pause. So let's inhale for the first half of the bridge. Exhale to finish it, lifting the hips higher. Inhale to come halfway down. And exhale to come all the way to the mat. That's it. So again, inhale, lift your hips halfway. Exhale, re-engage, squeezing, lifting. Inhale, come down half. And exhale down to the mat again. And again, inhale first half. Exhale second half. Continue with that breathing pattern. Do check again the knee angle. You don't want your knees splaying out or knocking in. You want them to remain about in line with your hips. And the other thing we want to think about is the hips lifting and lowering at the same pace. So you've not got left or right hip kind of running ahead of the other. Last time, halfway bridge, all the way, and halfway down, and release. Good, scoop those knees in towards your chest now, and just pull them in and release them nice and gently so that you can ease off into the low back there. As you hug the knees, can you hug them in even tighter and start to rock and roll forwards and backwards up your spine, gathering enough momentum to bring yourself up to a seated posture. If that's not happening, just come up any way you like, and we're going to come into our half roll backs. So when you're ready, positioning your feet in that hips width position, bringing your arms to this lovely cuddle position, nice and tall on the sit bones. We allow ourselves to rock back off the sit bones towards the sacrum. We round the lumbar and soften the rib cage, coat hanger in the t-shirt, and then we lift back up nice and tall through the ribs. So we roll back to the sacrum, round the lumbar, soften the ribs, and nice and tall, inhale. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, tall. Exhale, rounding. Remember that deep soup bowl that we talked about? Good, inhale, tall. And exhale, deepen that soup bowl in the pelvis. Inhale, tall. Exhale, round. Inhale, tall. Exhale, round. Inhale, tall. This time, we're going to take it back to that rounded posture hold. Deepen through your bowl of soup here, keeping your coat hanger in your t-shirt. We're going to take one arm and we're just going to turn the rib cage, so not just the arm and the shoulder, turn the ribs, and then scoop everything back up to center. There we go. So gently rounding, soften the ribs, coat hanger and t-shirt. Other side, you're going to turn your rib cage away and then scoop everything up, nice. And again, rounding, creating that rounded spine, abdominals deepening as we turn the ribs, scoop back to center. And rounding back, deepen the abdominal connection, open the rib cage, scoop back to center. 2 more then, let's round, taking that twist through the obliques, scooping back up. And final round, rolling back, opening through the obliques, scooping back up to center, and then let's just take a little bit of a forward fold to loosen off through the back. So this can be long legs, wide legs, it could be legs tucked in towards you, just some sort of forward reach to loosen off down the back after that one. And take a couple of deep breaths here. Wonderful. And we're going to bring this into an elbow plank now. So we're going to try and hold a plank. I don't like to hold a very static still plank for too long because I think that it just encourages kind of shoulder tension to build up. So we are going to do a little bit of movement in our planks. If I can ask you to join me in an elbow variation, we're going to create that kind of tripod structure there with the elbows and the forearms, and step back to your plank. Now remember, you can always leave your toes down on the ground if you wish to. Now, when we went through our plank tutorial, we thought about drawing our shoulder blades down, opening across the collarbones, and we also thought about wearing our favourite pair of jeans and just tucking the hands down in the back pockets. So I'm going to ask you to now lengthen your crown forwards, lengthen your heels back, and we're going to take a very gentle rock on the toes. So very gently just rocking your toes forwards and backwards. If you are on your kneeling plank, that's absolutely fine. Stick with the kneeling plank. Keep lengthening from crown down to tailbone. Keep those hands pushing down the jeans pockets. You can probably hear my voice shaking already. And let's take a breath. If you've remembered to take a breath already, well done. Drawing that pubic bone up towards your chin. And 3, 2, 1. You can take the knees down if you haven't already, and you can rest down to the mat. Let's push back to a quick child's pose just to lengthen out through the back in case that built up any tension in the back. So take a deep breath to widen your back here. Nice wide inhale. That's it, 2 more like that. Lovely job. Let's bring that into our side lying sequence next. So if you can come to lay down. If you do want a block or a folded towel or a cushion or something like that, please do grab one. And we're going to come into our top leg lifts. So you can either lay down on your arm or some sort of variation of arm and block, or prop up head on hand if you prefer. So top leg lifts. First of all, to stop us wobbling around and kind of capsizing, we are going to bend the bottom knee. That will just give us a bit more stability. We want to think about this top hip. This is kind of the crucial part. We want to make sure the top hip stays directly above the base hip. So it's not rolling forwards, it's not rolling backwards, but also it's not rolling in towards the waist. You don't want this to collapse. So we want to elongate the hip away and elongate this top section of the waist there, okay? So starting with your top leg lifts, we are going to point our toe and gently lower down. Simple as that. So point and lift, point and lower, point and lift, point and lower. If the pointing is getting a bit crampy, feel free to relax the foot, of course. And what we want to avoid, and what we see a lot in beginners practice, is people want to try really hard. So they want to get the leg up really high, but you see when the leg comes in high, the hip has now collapsed into the waist, the hip has come towards the rib cage, and my spine isn't in neutral, my core's not on at all. So we're going to try and keep the spine elongated, keep the hip pushing down to the end of our mat as we go through these side leg lifts. And that means I don't go to full range, okay? Of course we can lift our legs a bit higher than this, of course, we're quite flexible, but we don't need it for this stability element of the core. Good. So we're going to hold that there. We're going to flex the foot, and we're going to start to circle. 1, this comes from your hip. 2, keep your spine stable. 3, 4, and 5, change direction, keep drawing in through the B-line. 5, 4, length through the top side of the waist. 2, 1, hold it there, point your toe again and pulse. 1, 2, 3, keep long. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Good, bring it in, give that a little bit of a rub. Nice. So that's a really good example of how we would layer up a side lying sequence. Let's have a go at that on the other side. So it gives you lots of variety with lots of repetitions. So again, find your comfortable neck and head position. We're going to bend the base leg to give us balance. And we're going to think about this top hip, because that is the crucial part. So it's not rolling forwards or backwards. It's crucially not rolling in towards the waist. So elongate, lengthen this top length of your waist, lengthen that spine. And then let's point our toe. We're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. And again, just be really honest with yourself. What is that hip doing? Is it starting to roll back, or is it starting to encroach towards your rib cage? Good. So keep drawing in through beeline there. Keeping long. Stabilizing that spine as the leg and the hip work for us. So another couple here. Nice, and then hold, flex the foot, circle from the hip. 1, 2, core stability really important. 3, 4, that beeline working hard for 5, change directions. 5, 4, 3, stabilizing the hip. 2, and 1, point your toe again, and we pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, long waist. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Lovely, bring it in, give it a little bit of a rub. That's it. I think they can feel really different, left side and right side as well. You might have discovered your stronger side. So we're going to move on to our backs now for some tabletop work. If you'd like to roll onto your back and join me in your Pilates rest position, finding your nice lumbo-pelvic relationship and then finding that neutral lumbar. So that's your natural curve, isn't it? We're going to set our centering. So that might be drawing the beeline. It might be lifting pelvic floor slightly. And we're going to lift one knee to tabletop. So that's the knee stacked directly above the hip. If you've pushed your lower back in, see if you can find your neutral spine again. Re-engage to lift the second leg. That's it. Try and relax some tension out of the shoulders. Maybe just turn your palms upwards with your arms away from the body slightly. Taking one leg down, taking the second leg down. So when you're ready, we go again. We set our centering, we lift one leg. We re-engage, lift leg number 2, take one down, take the other down. So change your lead leg if you haven't already. You want to engage, lift a leg, re-engage, lift second leg. So we're changing our lead leg each time, hopefully, if you can remember which leg you've used, so that we can engage and use each side of the core more equally, because you will find that lifting the second leg is tougher. Yeah, so we want to give each side a little bit of a chance to experience that. So up to tabletop, one leg at a time, and then down one leg at a time. Up to tabletop, and down, lovely. Let's go for 2 more. And last one, up to tabletop, re-engage, lift second leg, good, and gently down. So we're going to go to tabletop and add in our overhead reaches. We're going to work on our breath with this as well. So let's find that tabletop leg position. Have hands beside the body. Softening the rib cage down to connect with the hip bones. So imagine your ribs are trying to kiss your hips. We're going to inhale here in the preparation. Exhale, overhead reach, keeping the ribs soft. Inhale, hands back beside the body. Exhale for the overhead reach. Inhale, hands back beside the body. Exhale for the overhead reach. Inhale, hands beside the body. So we're breathing this way to give you a better chance of engaging your abdominals as you exhale for the overhead reach. Does feel a little bit counterintuitive, but let's see if we can really keep the ribs soft, keep the chest soft as we go for that nice stretch. Really connecting through our core muscles there. Keeping that neutral spine if possible, although imprinting is totally safe. We're going to do 2 more. And last time. bringing the hands back beside the body and gently bringing your legs back down. Stretch one leg away from you now and hug one knee in towards your chest. Give it a nice pull up, nice and tight, so that you feel the front of your hip crease complaining a little bit. And deep breath. And then just gently change legs. Hug one knee in, stretch one leg out. Pull that knee in nice and close. And then gently stretch that one back out again. Let's start to add in some leg extensions. So finding, please, your tabletop legs once again. We're going to leave the hands somewhere comfortable, so I would recommend just away from the body slightly with the palms turned up. We've got neutral spine. We have got core engaged. We're going to gently start to stretch your toe away from the body, and then inhale back to tabletop. Exhale, lengthening. Inhale back to tabletop. So as we go for our leg extensions, we're really thinking about actually kind of retracting the thigh bone back into the hip socket. So the cue I think that people often use, and I use it too sometimes, is to stretch the leg. And actually that's not always what we're after. We don't want to be stretching and being super duper flexible in this position. We actually want to create stability, which requires some muscular tension around the hip joints and around the core. So as you start to take your leg away from you, you actually want to kind of think about sucking this thigh bone a little bit into the hip socket. That's it. And again, keep the hip bones and the rib cage nicely connected, so that we know we've got our abdominal connection and our beeline on. Good. So it's an inhale to tabletop, and exhale to extend the leg. So it's an exhale to extend the leg, and inhale back to tabletop. Exhale, extending the leg, inhale back to tabletop. Good. Keep that tension out the shoulders if we can. Just remind yourself to give your neck some length and some space. Good. Last couple of movements. And knees can come in, feet can relax, and then take your toes down to the bottom edge of your mat. Reach your hands up to the top edge and have a really good full body stretch. Nice deep breaths into the body, good. And then walk those feet back in towards the bottom. Let's have the hands and the arms beside the mat, and take your left leg, we'll cross it all the way over the right, and then you're going to roll your hips and your knees over to the right side into your spine twist. And this is such a lovely stretch. We are grounding in the centre of the mat through the shoulders. So shoulders grounding, arms heavy, and then the weight of the legs and the hips turning you over to that right side. Let your body kind of melt here. Imagine you're letting your joints just all kind of fall apart. You are so well supported by the mat here. And then retract some of those joints, gently engaging your core centering to bring you back to the middle of the mat. We'll go the other way, so crossing the right leg over the left this time, and then roll the knees over to the left side. Again, grounding through the shoulders in the centre of the mat, heavy through the arms. Feel the weight of the knees, the legs, the thighs take you over. And let your joints fall apart. Even your fingers, your wrists, your shoulders. Feeling that release. And then gently engaging your centering, bringing that back through to the midline. Wonderful. If you'd like to make your way up to a seated posture, please. I know that's been quite a lot. Well done, a huge well done for making it through our 7 sessions of our Intro to Pilates for Beginners. I really hope you've learned a lot and you've maybe learned some techniques that you can take forwards into your classes that you do in person. If you want more online classes, if you go and look at my channel and definitely click subscribe button down there, of course. There's a whole playlist on there called Beginners Pilates, and there's intermediate classes that you can move on to as well. If this whole series has raised any questions, please type them in the comments below because I will read every single one of those and I can get back to you if you want any help with anything further. So enjoy your Pilates journey, whether that's with me, whether it's in your own practice, and I'll hope to see you again soon.